Hey everyone, and welcome back to Microsoft Sphere. The pace of innovation never stops, and today we've got a rapid-fire update that you absolutely cannot afford to miss. We're diving deep into the latest buzz, the game-changing moves, and the critical developments that are shaping the future, right now. Get ready, because the news cycle is blazing, and we're here to bring you the inside track on everything that matters. First up, we're exploring a fascinating perspective on smart investment strategies, looking at how to identify and acquire valuable assets at sensible prices. It's a deep dive into a philosophy that could redefine how you think about building wealth. Next, we shift gears to the dynamic world of game development, where a significant movement is taking root. We're talking about developers making their voices heard, advocating for change and better working conditions in a high-pressure industry. This is a story about collective action and the pursuit of a more stable future for creators. Then, we're bringing you a crucial update straight from the heart of system administration and IT operations. Microsoft is rolling out a new tool designed to streamline the often complex process of migrating user settings and applications between operating systems. This could be a game changer for organizations managing large-scale software updates. And finally, we tackle a perplexing technical issue that's causing a stir in the tech community. A bug in Windows 11 is reportedly impacting SSD performance, and the details are getting stranger by the day. We'll break down what's happening and what it means for your hardware. Don't go anywhere, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Smart investment strategies unveiled. In the ever-evolving world of finance, the adage of buying wonderful businesses at fair prices remains a cornerstone of successful investing. This approach, often championed by seasoned investors, emphasizes identifying companies with strong fundamentals, sustainable competitive advantages, and robust financial health, all while acquiring their stock at a valuation that offers a margin of safety. It's not about chasing the latest hot trend or speculating on short-term market fluctuations, but rather about a disciplined, long-term perspective focused on intrinsic value. The core idea is to find businesses that are not only profitable today, but are also well-positioned for future growth and resilience, capable of navigating economic downturns and technological shifts. This often means looking beyond the headlines to understand a company's business model, its market position, its management quality, and its ability to generate consistent free cash flow. The fair price component is equally critical. Even the best business can be a poor investment if purchased at an exorbitant valuation. This requires a thorough understanding of valuation metrics, such as discounted cash flow analysis, price-to-earnings ratios, and dividend yields, coupled with a deep dive into the company's financial statements and industry landscape. This investment philosophy is rooted in the belief that the stock market, while efficient in the long run, can present opportunities for astute investors to buy quality assets at prices that do not fully reflect their underlying worth. These opportunities often arise during periods of market irrationality, sector-wide pessimism, or temporary setbacks for individual companies that do not fundamentally impair their long-term prospects. The challenge lies in developing the analytical rigor and emotional discipline to identify these situations and act upon them. It requires patience, a willingness to conduct independent research, and the conviction to hold onto investments through market volatility, trusting in the enduring value of the underlying business. The goal is not to time the market, but to own great businesses for long periods, allowing the power of compounding to work its magic. This approach prioritizes understanding the business itself over predicting short-term stock price movements, fostering a mindset that is both analytical and patient. But what happens when the employees themselves decide it's time to take a stand? Get ready, because the next story is about developers fighting for their future. Game developers demand fair treatment. The landscape of the gaming industry is often perceived as a realm of creativity and passion, but beneath the surface, developers are increasingly voicing concerns about job security and working conditions. This sentiment has culminated in a significant move within Blizzard Entertainment, where over 450 developers across various disciplines within the Diablo team have voted to unionize under the Communications Workers of America, CWA. This marks a pivotal moment, as the Diablo team becomes the fourth major group at Blizzard to seek collective bargaining representation, signaling a growing trend of unionization across the gaming sector. The catalyst for this action appears to be the widespread layoffs that have impacted Microsoft Studios since its acquisition of Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion in 2023. Reports indicate that more than 3,000 jobs have been cut across the group, with significant consequences, including the cancellation of Blizzard's survival game, which had been in development for over 6 years. Developers have expressed feeling a pervasive sense of dread, with many believing that no amount of hard work guarantees job security amidst these frequent rounds of mass layoffs. Kelly Yo, a producer quoted by the CWA, articulated this sentiment, stating, "With every subsequent round of mass layoffs, I've witnessed the dread in my coworkers grow stronger because it feels like no amount of hard work is enough to protect us." The formation of the union is seen as a critical first step in joining a broader movement advocating for systemic change within the industry. Beyond job security, the union aims to address other key issues at the bargaining table, including the use of artificial intelligence in game development, proper crediting for creative work, and policies around remote work. Union organizers are actively surveying members to identify and prioritize the most pressing concerns before entering contract negotiations. This wave of unionization is not isolated to the Diablo team. Other Blizzard groups, such as World of Warcraft, Overwatch, and story and franchise development, have also formed unions. Furthermore, the movement extends beyond Blizzard, with developers at other Microsoft-owned studios like Bethesda, ZeniMax Online Studios, and ZeniMax QA testers also having unionized. The broader context is the staggering number of layoffs in the gaming industry, with over 16,000 developers laid off in 2023 and 2024, which has fueled industry-wide unionization efforts. In March, a new union, United Video Game Workers, was established under the CWA to encompass game developers across North America, regardless of their employer. Now, let's pivot from the human element of development to the tools that make it all possible. We're diving into a new utility designed to simplify a critical IT process. Windows Backup for Organizations simplifies IT migrations. As organizations continue to navigate the complex and often challenging transition from Windows 10 to Windows 11, Microsoft has introduced a new tool aimed at easing the burden on system administrators. Released this week, Windows Backup for Organizations, initially announced at Ignite 2024, is designed to streamline the migration and restoration of user settings and Microsoft Store apps across machines connected to Entra ID, formerly Azure Active Directory, within the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. While the name might suggest a comprehensive data backup solution, its primary function is more specific, preserving and transferring user preferences and configurations. The scope of Windows Backup for Organizations covers essential user settings such as display configurations, accessibility options, peripheral parameters, language preferences, and power settings. This functionality is particularly beneficial for IT departments managing large fleets of devices, especially when deploying new machines or assisting users in upgrading their operating systems. The tool simplifies the process of setting up a new computer for an existing user through the out-of-box experience, OOBE, or migrating settings during an OS upgrade. Previously, such tasks often relied on more intricate, IT-driven methods like the Microsoft User State Migration Tool, USMT, which required manual intervention, complex PowerShell scripting, and significant administrative overhead. In contrast, Windows Backup for Organizations, once configured through Intune Mobile Device Management, MDM, or Entra ID Group Policy, allows users to seamlessly restore their settings simply by signing in with their Microsoft Entra ID account. Users can also manually trigger a backup via the Windows Backup app. Microsoft highlights the tool's ability to reduce migration overhead, minimize user disruption, and strengthen device resilience against incidents for large-scale upgrades and device continuity. However, there's a crucial caveat. While devices running Windows 10 version 22H2 or Windows 11 version 22H2 and later can have their settings backed up, the restore function is exclusively available for Windows 11 version 22H2 and later. This effectively nudges organizations still on Windows 10, especially as support ends on October 14, 2025, towards the newer operating system. The tool requires the August 2025 Windows Security Update to be installed, and while it primarily targets Entra-joined devices, hybrid-joined on-premises domains can also utilize the feature. Backups are automated, running every 8 days, with restore functionality rolling out gradually to Intune tenants. Despite this new utility, IT managers still face broader challenges in the Windows 10 to 11 migration, including software compatibility and hardware requirements, which may lead some to consider extended security updates for Windows 10. Speaking of Windows 11, a peculiar issue has emerged that's leaving both users and manufacturers scratching their heads. We're investigating a bug that might be impacting your storage devices. Windows 11 SSD bug deepens. FISN reports no issues. A recently surfaced bug within Windows 11, reportedly causing failures in some solid-state drives, SSDs, has become a focal point for investigation by Microsoft and its industry partners. One such partner, FISN, a major manufacturer of SSD controllers found in a wide array of drives, has now shared the results of its extensive testing, adding a layer of mystery to the situation. FISN's statement indicates that after dedicating over 4,500 cumulative testing hours and conducting more than 2,200 test cycles on drives suspected of being impacted, they were unable to reproduce the reported issue. Furthermore, FISN claims that neither their partners nor their customers have reported any instances of their drives being affected by this specific bug. This declaration from FISN suggests that, from their perspective, the controllers they produce are not at fault. The company clarified that when they refer to partners or customers, they are including the drive manufacturers themselves and potentially Microsoft. While individual consumer reports of SSD failures might be directed to the drive manufacturers rather than the controller makers like FISN, the lack of direct reports from their business partners is a key point for the company. Adding to the confusion, a fabricated document that circulated online shortly after the bug's emergence, purporting to list affected FISN controllers, was quickly debunked by the company, further complicating the investigation. FISN's stance is that their rigorous testing has yielded no evidence of the bug impacting their products. However, this does not definitively clear the issue. Microsoft's own investigation into the Windows 11 SSD bug is ongoing, and until their findings are publicly released, uncertainty remains. Reports of SSD failures, while scattered, continue to surface, indicating that the issue, though seemingly rare, is indeed present for some users. FISN has also provided general advice for owners of high-performance SSDs, recommending the use of heat sinks or thermal pads to maintain optimal temperatures during extended, heavy workloads, such as transferring large files. This advice, while sound for general SSD health, is not presented as a direct solution to the Windows 11 glitch, but rather as a best practice for managing heat and performance. The complexity of adding aftermarket cooling solutions for less tech-savvy users is also noted. The situation underscores the need for swift clarification from Microsoft to resolve the growing confusion surrounding this potentially damaging bug. That's a wrap on our deep dives for today. But before you go, stick around for a quick recap of all the top stories. And that's a wrap on today's essential updates. We covered smart investment strategies, game developers taking action, a new Windows backup tool, and a puzzling SSD bug. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Microsoft Sphere for more, ring that notification bell, leave a comment with your thoughts, and follow us on all our social channels for even more insights. We'll see you in the next one.